Welcome to St. Louis.
What's up, everyone? I'm Rachelle, and welcome to Adventure is Never Far Away. It's possible to have a life full of adventures. Subscribe and come along as I show you that adventure is never far away.
Let me tell you a quick story. I love the phrase, friends for a reason, friends for a season, and friends for life. It helps me understand that while not all friendships are meant to last forever, they're still meaningful and they have a purpose in your life. And that is especially true for people who travel all the time. In 2014, I studied abroad in Germany and began my international love affair with travel. While I was in Germany, I met Megan, and we became fast friends. At the end of our program, we decided to meet up in Munich, and I got to meet Kevin, her then boyfriend. En route to the famous castle in southern Germany, Kevin asked me to film his proposal to Megan. Of course I said yes, and I was so honored to be a witness to their engagement. When it came time for them to tie the knot, I was invited to be an official witness and experience one of the most magical weddings that I could have ever imagined. We kept in touch after that, but hadn't seen each other in person for years. So then at the end of 2022, when it came time to sit down and write down my New Year's resolutions, I wrote down reconnect with old friends and was determined to visit Megan and Kevin wherever they were in the world. And then as fate would have it, my friend posted something on Facebook at the beginning of 2023 indicating that they were going to be moving closer and to a place that I would have a direct flight from Salt Lake City to. As opposed to having to fly into some random airport and then rent a car, drive a couple states over to go see them, which I totally would have done, but this just makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more budget friendly. So that settled it. I was going to Missouri. And boy oh boy did Missouri surprise me. So for starters, even just getting to Missouri surprised me. Here's that story. So it's been a really long day. So just a lot has been going on. And so by the time that I arrived at the airport, it had been such a long day. And I knew that my seat on this flight was supposed to be like 3 rows from the back because I used Delta Sky Miles for this flight and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have anybody sitting next to me, that I had a window, and it was looking that way until I got up to the gate. It was time to board and I just happened to look up at the, you know, like how they have the screens that says, you know, boarding, pre-boarding, and I just happened to look up and I saw the first 3 letters of my last name and my first initial. It just flashed on the screen. I was like, wait, I thought that my seat was confirmed, so I kind of had a little panic attack. And so I checked my phone and my app kind of glitched out. And then I freaked out again because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm at the airport. I'm like getting ready to go on this trip that I've been looking forward to so much and I really want to see my friends. And then my app refreshes and my seat has changed. So I go up to the desk with like the ticketing agents and it's like, hey, this is what my phone is telling me. I just want to make sure that like my seat is confirmed because it's just looking a little bit different. And they said, oh, you've received a free upgrade to first class. Please board right now. What? Oh my gosh, the coolest thing just happened. I just got a random upgrade to first class. Oh, my flight to St. Louis. What? I'm actively trying not to cry. I thought that this is something that only happens to people who fly all the time, who have like insane status. I couldn't believe it. So I'm like trying not to cry as I'm at the desk and the ladies are like, congratulations. And they're like being so sweet. I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like I look like a mess and everybody's staring at me, but I don't even care. And so I just like run in line to get to board. And then it prints out my seat change. I don't know if you can see this. It's seat 1B, meaning I was in the very first row in the aisle. I had my first class experience. And then my friend filmed this cute surprise while she was picking me up from the airport.
Hi everybody. I'm about to pick up my friend Rachelle and I just thought I'd document it. And I brought her a Dr. Pepper, and I hope that's going to go over well because I know my friend Rachelle and she likes Dr. Pepper. Here she is. Hi. I have a Dr. Pepper here for you.
Thank you. St. Louis as a whole really surprised me. The food, the architecture, the St. Louis Arch that, you know, you've seen pictures of, but you don't really know like what it does or like what it's for. Spoiler alert, I learned all of that while I was there. Totally blew me away. And to be honest, St. Louis really just got under my skin, and it became one of those places that I in the back of my mind, I was like, I have to return here. It's a city that I've heard so much about growing up in the US when you learn about history and politics and things, and even playing my favorite board game, St. Louis is a major player in it. Did you know that Missouri has some pretty famous cities? Warsaw, Mexico, Zion, Vulcan, which I have been to Vulcan before. There's a Vulcan in Alberta, Canada. Live long and prosper. And they have a city called Versailles. That's not how they pronounce it. Okay, so this is Versailles. How do you pronounce it again?
The city in Missouri is pronounced Versailles.
Yes. Yes, it is. Live your dream. Okay, so maybe they're not famous for their Missouri location, but I think it's still pretty cool if they have these places that are named after other famous places. It's just really kind of fun. And I'm in no position to make fun of pronunciation because I live in Utah, the land of really strange names, like Tooele. You would think this one is hurricane, but it's actually hurricane. And the mother of all, Duchesne. One of the most magical surprises that I experienced in Missouri was the fact that there are fireflies, or lightning bugs, whatever you want to call them, in Missouri. What? My friends live here in Jefferson City, and one of my absolute favorite things about their house is they have this enclosed outdoor deck. It's got, you know, the screen to protect from all the bugs. It is beautiful out here. You can see they live next to a pond, which I guess is kind of like a thing in Missouri. On the first night I was here, I was sitting in this exact spot, and back behind me, you can't see them yet, but I saw my first fireflies, or lightning bugs, or whatever you want to call them. And we're just sitting out here, you can hear everything, you can hear the bullfrogs, couldn't hear any traffic, can a little bit right now. Every now and then, like just the lapping of the water because of the swans that live in this pond. And then I just happened to look over because something caught my eye, and I saw a flash of light, and I thought, oh, maybe because there's like a fire pit a couple feet away, and no, it was a lightning bug. And it kept going off, and it was, again, one of those moments where I just wanted to cry, because I know that maybe people that live in the Midwest or that live in certain areas, like, that's old news. Like, they see them all the time because they grew up with them. They're used to them. For me, that is something so out of the ordinary for me in my life that it was just one of those magical moments. It could have been that I was like super jet lagged. I hadn't slept in almost 48 hours. I was emotional for seeing my friends, and like when Megan had picked me up, we had a really big day in St. Louis, and then drove up to Jefferson City, which is like 2 hours, and getting to know her kids. But it was so magical, and hopefully tonight, I don't even know if I'm gonna capture it on film or not, or if that's even possible, but right now, while they're putting the kids to sleep upstairs, I'm just sitting out here and enjoying this. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, that's all I wanted to share. Another thing that surprised me was that the fact that I didn't think that water towers were such a big deal, and that it's a thing in Missouri. There are water towers everywhere, and the more I think about it, the more obvious like it becomes, like the purpose of them, but I've never had to think of them before, and so I became kind of obsessed with all of the different types of water towers that we could see. And when we'd be driving around, my friend Megan thought it was really funny and would make sure to point out all of the water towers for me so I could record them. So one bonus thing about Missouri that, well, it didn't really surprise me because I really do believe that you can have adventure anywhere, but it's really how much fun I had. I went to Missouri to hang out with my friends, to meet their 2 little kids and spend as much time as I could with them, but I experienced so much more than just catching up with them. From trying my first authentic Missouri barbecue at a gas station, so getting my first barbecue in Missouri,
And I'm low-key excited that it's inside a gas station. That's how you know it's good, right?
To boating on a majestic river, to finding street art and vegan ice cream in a college town, to living out my Ticket to Ride dreams in Jeff City, to exploring a culture that I've had little exposure to feeling like an explorer out in the wilderness.
Woo! What a cool little place. There's some caves, some fun little tiny holes. This is fun.
I cannot recommend a visit to Missouri enough. So, until our next adventure, we'll see ya.
Okay, so we are going up the arch, up to the arch. There's a tram you can take, because I thought we were gonna walk. I thought it was all stairs. So we're inside a space pod.
Doors are closing, doors are closing. Thank you so much for visiting the Gateway Arch.
It's cozy. We're the caboose. Let's go. Oh, it's getting real. It's getting real. It's getting real. It's getting real. All right. Okay. The buggy is climbing stairs. Literally. Whoa. Okay, so we're at the very tippy top of the arch. It is 630 feet. It's air conditioned, it's carpeted. There's tons of like viewpoints of the city and of the river. And even though there's a lot of people up here, I feel like you still get enough like options for pictures and stuff. It's cute. Just see some of the shape.
If there were more than two of us in there, I would have to get out. I've got